Logic Block UI actions: show, hide, enable, and disable. In this video, we start by introducing user interface actions, and then walk through how to add show, hide, enable, and disable actions to a logic block. While these actions are similar, each serves a distinct purpose depending on the context. Show and hide actions are useful when a field is not relevant based on user input, or when simplifying the interface can help guide user focus. These actions are also used to keep certain information secure. They are typically applied to columns in the list form and to fields, rows of fields, pages, or actions in the detail view of an application. Enable and disable actions are used when a field should be visible but not editable. This might be because the field contains calculated values or depends on another field and should be disabled to prevent user changes. Disabling a field also preserves the layout, which is especially important when users are working in list views. These actions are available only in the transaction and UI logic block types. These actions can trigger because of user input, application settings, or data mappings that require certain fields to be hidden or disabled. In this example, we demonstrate how to use show and hide actions so that when the user selects currently employed, the current employer, current salary, and employer's address fields are displayed. We begin on the Logic Block Builder page. A conditional action has already been added. It is set to evaluate if the currently employed field is selected. If it is, the condition is considered met. Now let's configure what happens when the condition is met by configuring the show action. To configure the action, we select Show in the Action panel and drag it to the True block of the Logic Block panel. Locate the Properties panel and select Add Input. In the Application field, enter the name of the application this logic block will be tied to, and select the application name when it appears in the menu. When creating a logic block for a header detail application, be sure to enter the header detail application's name in the table name field on the logic block's general configuration page. Then, select the specific application where the logic block will be used. Next, use the Page Row field or Action Name drop-down menu to select Row C. This setup means that when the field currently employed is selected, the condition is true, and Row C, which includes the current employer, current salary, and employer's address fields, will be displayed. Next, we configure what happens when the condition is not met. Select Hide in the Actions panel and drag it to the False block of the Logic Block panel. Next, go to the Properties panel. Select Add Input. Enter the application name. Select Row C from the drop-down. This ensures that when currently employed is not selected, which means the condition is false, all fields on Row C will be hidden. This completes the steps to configure the show and hide actions. Select Save and Stay to keep your changes. The next step is to attach this logic block to the application. We have navigated to the application, where two event actions have already been created. The first action runs our logic block when the application opens and the form is initialized. This hides Row C from the user. The second action runs the logic block when the field value is changed by a user selecting currently employed. Once you have generated the application, you can test the setup by opening the Form Action menu and selecting Launch. On the list form, select Create to open the detail form. On the application's detail form, notice the current employer, current salary, and employer's address fields are not visible. Select Currently Employed. Notice, row C is now visible, with the current employer, current salary, and employer's address fields. Clear the Currently Employed field, and all fields on row C are hidden again. For the next example, we demonstrate how to use Disable and Enable actions so the credit card number field is visible, but can't be changed when the user selects cash as their payment method. We start on the Logic Block Builder page. The conditional action has been configured for us and is set to evaluate whether the payment method selected is credit card. If it is, the condition is considered true. Now, let's set what happens when the condition is met by configuring the Enable action. Select Enable in the Actions panel and drag it to the True block of the Logic Block panel. In the Properties panel, select Add Input. In the Application field, use the drop-down menu to enter the name of the application this logic block will be tied to. Under the Page, Row, Field, or Action Name drop-down, select the field to be enabled when the condition is true. For this example, we select Credit Card Number. This states that if the conditional is met, the credit card number field will be enabled. Now let's configure the Disable action for when the condition is not met. Select Disable in the Actions panel and drag it to the False block of the Logic Block panel. In the Properties panel, select Add Input. Enter the application name. Under the Page, Row, Field, or Action Name drop-down, select the field to be disabled when the condition is false. We select Credit Card Number. This states that if the conditional is not met, the credit card number field will be disabled. Select Save and Stay. The next step is to attach the logic block to the application. We have navigated to the application, where two event actions have already been set up. The first action runs our logic block when the application opens, and the form is initialized. This disables the credit card number field. The second action runs the logic block when a user changes the value of the payment method field. Once you have generated the application, you can test the configuration by opening the Form Action menu and selecting Launch. On the list form, select Create. On the Detail form, notice the credit card number field is disabled. Select Payment Method and select Credit Card from the menu. The credit card field is now enabled, and we can enter a credit card number. Select Payment Method again. This time select Cash. Notice the credit card field is now disabled. In this video, we explored 4 common UI actions: Show, Hide, Enable, and Disable. These actions can be used in both UI and transaction logic blocks. Show and Hide actions are especially useful when a field is not relevant based on previous input. You want to simplify the user interface. Certain information needs to remain hidden unless needed. These actions are typically applied to columns on the application's list form, and to individual fields, rows of fields, pages, or actions on the application's detail form. Enable and disable actions are helpful when a field should be visible but not editable. You want to preserve the layout of the application. Thank you for taking the time to watch this video. To learn more about this topic, please refer to Next World Help.